And yeah, I dance in church, solo choreography dance, especially ballet. Yeah. But I do other dance most of the time.
So you did do a support?
Oh yeah.
So you see me, yeah.
You
wear white gloves and
white socks. Oh, but no, seriously, you have to give us
freestyle
at the end.
We'll
move the couch out. Don't worry. Special edition then. Hello guys, welcome to another amazing episode of JunkieTalks, and on today's episode we have a special guest. Right, she's going to, share what she's working on as usual, stand up, right? Tell us the amazing stuff she's working on and all that, and also tell us her name and everything. So, over to you, please.
Hola, my name is Sarpomah Boakye.
BlueVector.
I'm a pattern designer and illustrator. Right now, I'm just doing random personal project stuff, not too much big work. So it's just randomly using abstract stuff to create more meaningful stuff. Yeah. So basically, that's what I'm doing.
Using abstract stuff to create meaningful stuff.
So I use abstract shapes and icons to create things that make sense. So. I mean, it might not, but to me,
it makes sense. Yeah. All right. BlueVector or Sarpomah.
Please just call me Saps.
BlueVector.
Yeah. Just call me
BlueVector.
Saps.
Okay. Yeah, that one will be okay for me.
Okay.
For the people watching, right?
Yeah.
I mean, probably for someone, this is the first time they're hearing BlueVector or Sarpomah. Who is Sarpomah? Who is BlueVector? Where did you start from? Because me, the first time I heard something like a pattern designer was you. I didn't know there was something like that.
Yeah.
Right, so who is Saps?
Okay. So, my full name I mentioned, Sarpomah Boakye. So before being a pattern designer, I was doing everything in general, graphic design. That's like, I used to do photo manipulation. That was, I think, 3-4 years ago. I used to do photo manipulation. I used to do illustration. I used to do what was it called? Branding identity. So, and I think I was doing it for fun. I wasn't really, excited about what the things I was doing. But in the photo manipulation, it was giving me that sort of like an idea that I can focus on that. So that was 3-4 years ago. So I realized that I wasn't enjoying what I was doing. I wasn't, it wasn't exciting for me. So I had to start doing something else relating to dancing. I'm a dancer as well.
Wow.
Yes. I dance.
Please.
Let's
go. This guy too can dance. Wow. So
I dance in church. And yeah, I dance in church. Solo choreography dance, especially ballet. But I do other dance most of the time.
So you did do a support?
Oh yeah.
So you see me, yeah.
You
wear white gloves and
white socks. Oh, but no, seriously, you have to give us freestyle at the end. We'll move the couch out. Don't worry. Special edition. Then we will really plug you.
So I'm a dancer. I like to journal. I like to read. I love dogs. And
bruh.
Oh no. I mean, I don't hate, but
I say it's
I don't know why. If they talk most of the time, then they hate cats. So
it's not like I hate too. If you buy dogs
do you
for
hate
me,
cats?
Oh, I don't hate.
Oh, okay. Then
I'm okay. There's a difference between I don't like and I hate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
because most dog lovers they hate cats. You guys want a dog channel now? I mean, a pet channel.
Going at it.
Yo. But I don't know, if you study me, you realize I post a lot of dog stuff. Yeah. So it's, and then so I used to.
People they like and make people talk.
So I used to what's it called? I used to do photo manipulation, and I had to sit down to like analyze myself, like what is it that's one thing that I need to like start focusing on, like find my style, and all this happened somewhere 2021. Yeah.
Before that, what brought you to that question? Because were you making money from everything you were doing then?
Yes, I was.
So why were you still looking for?
So there's some people that are into jobs that don't make them happy, it's not exciting. You don't feel like this is something that you want to sort of like put your whole energy, effort in. That was one thing I think I was doing it for fun. Like, it was just, you know, put it out there. But for me to sit down and say that I'm really happy about what I did, like, you give your all, like, you know that this is what you love to do, but I wasn't there anymore. So I said that I wouldn't keep doing this anymore. So I had to take some time off social media, and then I had to spend, I think, a lot of time on Pinterest. And I saw that illustration, and I think, what's it called, female characters with, you know, nice hair, and then skin color and all of that. And so 2021, I think I'm sure you guys realized that I started doing patterns. So the whole idea came from me working with a textile design company called Cloudy. So Cloudy is a Japan-based company, but they have another location here. But then I think, what's it called? Yeah, so I was a designer for, I think, a year or two. It was a contract. It was a year or two. And for the first time, like, so when it started, it was getting to a point where I'm like, okay, let me just use this one as another, you know, style. Should I say, what's it called? What did you say?
Experiment.
Not necessarily that, but it was like part of those, like, I need to sort of like just put it out there. So I wasn't really enjoying it until I think after 6 months, and then I saw that, okay, this is getting interesting. Like, it's going like well, and every time I share the project or the whole designs with them, they come back with a lot of positive feedback. So it's like, okay, this is something I need to start, like, you know, spending a lot of time doing. Like, I'm getting that engagement. So it's like, I started with one, and then everyone was like, okay, this is new. So I created one design and I put it out there. And I was like, okay, this is where I need to start deleting all my old designs, old works, and then focus on the patterns that I'm doing right now. So it made me realize that this is who I'm going to be, this is who I am, and this is what I do. So it's like I was looking for that person that this is who you are, this is what people are going to be, you know, seeing you doing, and you are known for. So I said to myself that, okay, now let's clear all of these posts that we've done 2-3 years ago, and then focus on one thing that a lot of people know you to be good at. So when I created one, I had, like, I think a lot of, you know, people sending me random messages like, is this Saps that is doing this work? Because that's not what I do. So there's a new whole thing together that, where am I coming from? Like, where all of a sudden pattern? So, and then also I think I wanted to find something that would, like, differentiate me from what people are doing. It's like, you don't see anyone being a pattern designer. So I'm like, okay, if that's the case, let me try that one. And then it was good. So it's like you're scared to make a next move. But then if it goes well, fine. If it doesn't, you come back in and do whatever you want to do. But when I make that step, I was like, it was good that I took that bold to actually create things out there. And yeah, so as time went on, I just started creating. But then Cloudy have this project that they give you 1 month to design. So it comes with 5 different themes, and at each theme we have 2 different what's it called? So 2 different color themes. So that's in total 50 designs.
You produced?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I mentioned, so it's like maybe each theme has let's say we have theme 1 that's flower, theme 2 that could be sports, theme 3 could be clothing, theme 4 could be animals, and then maybe 5 would be abstract. So let's say flowers, I need to create one design for flower and another design for flower. So that's like 2 different designs under one theme.
Okay.
So, and then that 2 different designs, you have 5 different color themes for each. And you need to add a black and white as well. Yeah, so in total you have like 50, 2, 4, 6, those are like 60.
Is it the pattern?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that it comes with, you have to create your own dimensions, and then make sure that you use that same dimension for all of the, what's it called, the artboards. And so it's like, you are making, what's it called, continuous. So I always have to make sure that each side has equal, it's like when I duplicate one side, I need to make sure that
it's continuing.
yeah,
to
so
the
it's
next
like
one.
it's a continuous thing. So one there, one there, one there. So it's like you have to apply that same rule to all of them. And then your design have to be very, very, very catchy and like quality designs that when they see that it's calling out to people that I want to buy this, I want to buy that. And sometimes I have to spend like lots of hours like just on the internet and just suffering looking for inspiration. There are times where it was hard because for the first 3 months it was very tough to the point where I wasn't producing that quality designs. And so I said that if this is what this company wants, I need to spend a lot of time like, creating, like just keep creating. And I think after 1 year, it went to, what's it called? Should I say, well, I think it's so like, it was becoming more of like, this is Sap style, this is Sarpomah style, like keep doing it. And
when you started, were there people already doing pattern design that you were looking up to? Not
yeah, so
necessarily
I
in
think there
Ghana.
are other people in the design team. So I'm not just the only one. So
Okay.
they have other people. But I actually said to myself that this is for the first time that I actually enjoy what I'm doing. Like I have that passion for it. Like I'm always behind my screen, and then I'm on what's it called? I don't sleep early. I'm an hour person. It's like I'm always staying up late, working. Sometimes we find me starting at 11. By 2:30 a.m., that's when I'm about to sleep. So the times that everyone is asleep, that's when you have that peace of mind. Like that's when my brain works. Like that time is when my brain works. And funny enough, during the day it's very hard, but I've tried so much. But it's like it's not as active as compared to working during the night because I can just work non-stop. I just create, and people wonder how I create twice in a week or 3 times in a week. It's like like you don't even post that much, but you do that. Like you don't get it. So it's like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or maybe Wednesday and Friday. But how do you come up with such idea of like creating stuff? And then funny enough, I get my ideas from my room. Like the objects I see around. It could be plants, it could be the TV, it could be the desk, it could be the cables, it could be the tie. So that's how I measure to get.
So you see those and then turn them into shapes.
So yeah.
Everybody then how in mind they work.
So imagine a plant like this. So I just capture something that looks different from me. So I get that leaves have different shapes. They have different texture. They have different things that we say. So and then also the desk like this, it has a handle. It has different storage. So you just pick that and then add your own style to it.
So when it comes to pattern design, what has been some of the applications in terms of, in the last 2 years, right? What have been some of the applications in terms of the places you've been working?
Places. So I would say Cloudy was where it started from. Yeah, so since that's, there are other side gigs that I do, but they're not necessarily big, huge works. So I think they might need patterns for a brand guide, they might need patterns for 1 or 2 campaign or something. It's just minor things, but they're not really huge project works that I actually do all the time.
Now, my question is, it seems too niche now. Like, it's like picking product design and saying they are designing just landing pages, right? How are you going to cash out from that? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Is there the market for it? Let me put it that way.
Obviously, there is a market because she's cashing out, or you're not cashing out.
I don't know.
It's okay.
Hey, calm down.
Is there a market for it? Let me
say yes. Yeah. So I think what's it called? So all this comes with what's it called? The sketches, samples, and how I spend my time, the number of minutes or days, hours I spend like creating or putting it out there, the sketching. So it comes with a lot of time, energy, and effort. So I think when I'm charging, I come with that whole package all together. So right now, the prices has changed. Let me put it all. Yeah.
You put here. She said the prices change.
So I said before then I think I used to charge.
You don't have to mention it though.
I think.
Hey, we'll be on.
We'll be on.
to speak.
Maybe we should not. Okay,
If
right.
somebody they want,
Please feel free.
feel free.
Oh,
If you want to, you can.
it was I think 2 designs for 2.5K.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Pattern designs.
just 2 designs. So
Okay.
the fact
So-
that
If I was about to say the
And they go
initial
them.
down.
They go them.
No.
Are
party.
these like the final deliverables or during? Because in the ideation you come up with like different sets, right?
yeah.
So-
So you don't get mock-ups for that. So it has different packages on it. So I have custom, I have moderate, and I have basic. So the basic one is the 2 designs, and then the moderate is I think 4 or 5, and then the what's it called? Premium was 7 to 9. I think then I have the unlimited one. Yeah, so that's like you can get unlimited designs based like that's it. So
Interesting. You have your answer.
They go them
Why are you
party.
surprised?
I'm going to them party.
So I remember we had a discussion when we met at Appreciate. I don't know if you remember, you were in Ed's car or whatever. I don't know whose car it was.
it was
Ed's car.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
And
else would I be in this car?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just asking.
Who else?
You know, get girls maybe soon.
Charlie, continue.
So,
Why you get woman?
You bring your body, set yourself
Charlie.
up.
don't
Necessary.
mind.
So yeah, what was I even saying? So yeah, when I met you, you were talking about the fact that you were still exploring. You were trying to like find your niche, because I remember you reached out sometime and it was about a web design or so, and you were asking how you go about it. Later on, we had a discussion and you were like, because that's not something you want to do. Eventually you let go, only for me to find out later on that you've niched down to pattern. I want to know, like, during that period, what was your thought process like? Did you feel like, okay, you know what, I'm not sure design is my thing, I need to find something outside.
Design has always been my thing. So I think
When did this
it
start?
started from before high school, university. I went to tech, put it out. So I did communication design, and then I think when you get to 2nd, 3rd year, you branch into a different course as multimedia, visual communication, advertising. So I did visual communication. Yeah. So I've always wanted to, do graphics. Yeah, because high school I did graphic design. Yeah. So I wanted to.
Just before you continue,
Yeah.
how was your parents' response to you doing graphic design?
Oh,
Because
so
for
I
me, it
think-
was more like, hey, graphic design will be something for
And,
doing.
High school
the-
graphic design.
Like
Which
visual
high
arts.
school?
Yeah,
Visual
so,
arts.
arts,
yeah, so I think they were more of, like, it's yours, it's you. This is what you want to do. But then it was like they need to understand what you're doing. Like they ask questions like, how do you feel about this course? Are you really sure you want to do this?
They didn't tell
And
you
I
to do
remember my
science.
dad wanted me to do business.
Business.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
so my dad wanted me to do business. And I was like, Charlie, oh boy, I think God will bang you. Like, I can't. I think he wasn't that. And at that time, 16, 17, 8, like, you're young. So it's like, you have to do what they want. You can't do what you want. So at that moment, I'm like, So when I was, the school placements came, I had business. And I'm like, okay, I didn't choose business. I chose visual arts. But then I told my dad, he was very excited, but I was.
So how have you changed?
So when I got to the school, I asked, the senior, I asked the seniors where I can, who to speak to. So they directed me to, one of the school, the class, I don't know, someone that was in charge of a class. So I had to go and speak to one of the lecturers, the teachers. So I was like, okay, I got to business, but I want to switch to visual arts. And then the man was asking me why. I said, oh, that was not what I wanted to do. That was not my course. And I said, oh, we'll see what we can do. And then later on, when the list came, the Sarpomah Boakye had them in the business class. It took a while for me to get to the visual arts class. And then I was always, scared. I didn't like it. It got to a point where I cried because I'm like, this is not me being in the business class. And I don't see myself in the business class. So after, I think, 2-3 weeks, and then they said they finally made the changes that I can move to the visual arts class. Come and see me dancing. Oh my
Dancer.
I went back to my dorm. I couldn't sleep. No, I just had that whole smile on my face, fine, and then Sunday's church service, I was on the front line there. It was very, I don't know, back then, I don't know, to some people it might be now, but to me, I think some people didn't get their course, and others had to stick to being in that class. So I think someone had science, she wanted to do visual arts. And then they couldn't change it, so she had to stay there. And then all the time, she come, during the break time, she comes to the class just to hang out with us. And then when it's break over, she has to go. And then you see, she's sad, she doesn't want. But there's nothing you can do about it. A lot of people do, but I don't know. But for me, it was crazy.
Nice.
And that's how come I ended up in a visual arts. So when I came home, I told my dad that, this is what, and he said, okay. But the okay was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is yours. So I think as time went on, she was more of, if this is really what she wants to do, then go for it. So I had to convince him that this is what I want to do. So you have to prove to them that if you're really good at this, show it to me. Do you understand? So it took a while for them to understand that, okay, my daughter is good at this. It's I need to get her a laptop, I need to get her this, I need to get her that. This is what she's really good at. You feel me? So that's how.
Was this before uni when your dad finally bought into the idea of you doing something visually or visual arts related?
So I came home with some of the designs we did in class. Yeah, so it was ceramics, GK, economics, graphic design. The graphic design was more of calligraphy or something. Yeah, so back then we were not using laptops. But then the ICT is when you have to go to the ICT room. So I came home with one, I think a ceramic ware. I came home with, I didn't do sculpture. Yeah, so I came with ceramic ware and then calligraphy or something. And then those times, when I see your item, I was like, that's good. And before I was like, you're expecting some high, expression, oh wow, I love this. How did you come up with? It wasn't like that, but you personally, you feel you've done a lot of work, you've done well, but yeah.
And when did you finally?
So I'm always saying to myself that one day I'm going to make him proud, and I think the final year that we were supposed to come home, he couldn't pick me up. So I think my big brother had to, because he had to do something. So when I came home, I came with 3 different ceramic wares. I came home with, I think, 4 different types of calligraphy too, and some other few objects. And when I came home, I wrote his name on one of the ceramic ware, and then something, and then I gave it to him. So the very first time, that was when I saw that, this is what I was looking for. He was so happy. And then he hung it, I think, on his bathroom door somewhere. So when he enters, that's the first thing he sees. So the next morning I saw it. So I'm like, so I just went back to my room and I started crying that Daddy actually finally accepts, he was very happy with what I was doing. So this is something that I've done, and I've proved to him that I love design, I love art. So if he's not ready to, help me to deal with the journey that I'm embarking on, I need to come back in a time that I need your support, I need your this is what I want. So since then, it has been very crazy and massive. The support is huge. My mom was just finding ways to get me a laptop. And I got like is it Dell 8th generation NVIDIA graphics something. So me, I gave her the specs. And then she was like, I'm not sure. I was like, yes. When I got to school, like, people were giving me that funds that this is a laptop, like this is a man's guys. I'm like, so what? So I didn't get that. And then it was very amazing to that point where I got that massive support from my parents. So it was super awesome. Because I didn't understand what I was doing. But I'm like, yeah, this is me. But you don't need to understand. Just appreciate it. Like, just need to be part of it. So,
the question you asked is,
it was Sam's question, but yeah, I think.
No, the question from Junior K's car. What?
Yeah.
Okay, so me now, I want to understand what pattern design really is about, right? Because at the beginning, you said something about creating meaningful stuff from abstract objects, which doesn't make sense to me.
So most of the things that I do are like abstract. So that I always create. And majority of the time, I use what's it called, Edinkwa symbols. So that's where I started from. So I was using Edinkwa symbols to create a pattern. Sometimes I take some things out. I add, my ideas, spice it up, I change it up. So you wouldn't know that it's an Edinkwa symbol. So that's where the whole thing started from. And then the first time I showed it to Ed, so I was like, okay. So it's like you have to keep doing to become good, to become like, you have to master it. So, and then people are like, hey, wow, like, but they don't know how the process of what went through, like, how you became this good. Because before then, when I started, it was, I think, I don't know, but it wasn't something that, sometimes when I said, I'm like, is this really my work? I'm like, yeah, you started from here, right? Yeah, so it has been a huge difference. Like, there's a very, very huge difference from them. So,
what was the creative process like?
So I start with, so like I mentioned, I get my ideas from my room. So I could, let me see. Yeah, so I could use the wallet, the hairbrush, and then the masking tape. I don't know if that's a masking tape.
That's limited.
Yeah, it's a 70 or something. Or maybe the book or the cable. So how the cable is, on the, what's it called, the cassette or something. So that's how line then. So when I get that idea and I draw from that, I duplicate and then flip. So it becomes like this,
okay,
right?
That becomes a new one.
Yeah, and then from there, I could use the
wallet or the brush.
What's that? There's something in front of the PS5.
the disc.
Yeah.
The games.
Yeah. So when I use that, I could turn it that way. So create that rectangle shape and I stretch it a bit, and then duplicate it. Just add probably like dots inside. So I like to duplicate and then turn things. Why you smell like that?
Right now, you the design gives you that
right. I'm coming. So this is you creating something from a room.
Yeah, so that's where I get my...
If it's for a client...
Yeah, so it depends on the theme. So mine is, like, if I'm doing personal projects, I go with the things I see around me, in my room, like surroundings, anywhere. But when people outside, like, they want, so they come with that, you want designs like maybe shapes for an African, what's it called, flyer, or maybe for a uniform, or any other thing. So it could be an abstract thing, or it could be flowers, or it could be me using geometric shapes, or any other thing. But it all depends on the thing that comes from them. Yeah, so for me personally, I just like to go in general. Yeah. So I always use like geometric shapes for everything. I think you always find geometric stuff in my...
Yeah. So. I wanted to find out about the storytelling bits, because I know sometimes when you are presenting a design, it's not just the visual side. You need to convince the clients why you think this pattern will work. So when it comes to the communication or the storytelling bits and you are using an abstract stuff, how do you make sure that you make meaning from that abstract thing?
Okay, so I'm going to use, I think a time that happened, somewhere last year, April. Yeah, so this, I think they needed, that was a company from, I'm trying to remember. So they needed the patterns for their clothing. Yeah, and then I used Edinka symbols. But I changed it to the point where he didn't know that I used Edinka symbol. So I made it look more of like a symbol. But it was, I took some things out. And I abstracts have this weird random shapes, like some is like, as a star, but it's flipped somewhere, like it's turned, or, it's just me trying to take things out of like an icon or shape. And then I don't want to use that maybe star shape to create star patterns, but I just like to go off, let me say outside of the box thinking. So if it's maybe flowers that you want, I could use a box or something, or maybe a hat top to create that flower. But then I want it to be in that abstract form, like to be in that patterns that I'm talking about. So if it's, let's say, let me put, okay, let's say food, vegetables or, vegetables or fruits. So if it's an onion, I'll use probably the circle shape, all right. But this time around, I'm not going to use a circle shape, so I'll probably get to use, let's say, a rectangle shape. And then, so I point on the two sides to fit it inside. I come with another rectangle shape and then place it on top. So you get a round, and then you sort of use a pen to induce and incorporate some other things. So I don't know whether I guess.
You see that?
Like it's very abstract.
You see that loading thing normally. If they edit, they should put that on my head. That's my head,
The
right?
girl is designing, but you see, I wish we had something like probably you could show people how you go about it.
I mean, if you have
So
examples, we can show it on the
laptop
screen.
right now, like I'll probably just
do something.
Yeah.
So
I can just-
basically, in your work is mostly abstract. So you finish
so
and
I
then
just,
find a
you
meaning
know, that's
to
what
it.
I posted yesterday. The wallpaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just the rabbit hole font display that I used, and then I don't know. I think I mentioned the rabbit hole font display. So it has was like flowing of like liquid. It's like it goes in there and like that. That's how rabbit hole displays. And then the wallpaper I used was this wallpaper. The shape I used was like a rectangle, something, and I just duplicated it. So and now you have like 4 or 5 different shades of color that are like a rectangle. But then I changed it to the bit so it wouldn't look exactly like a rectangle. And then I added the rabbit hole font display to incorporate like inside. So when you select everything, you sort of like what's this word? I don't know. I think if you guys use Illustrator, you understand what I'm talking about. It's a tool divide. So it's under Pathfinder.
The one used to subtract.
Yeah,
stuff.
so you subtract all of it. Yeah. So I selected everything, and then you deselect. It's like you can change the colors using different, eyedrops. So that's how come I ended up getting
That
this one.
particular one. Yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely should it too. So yes. So
So coming back to the client's work. So
Yeah.
I don't necessarily use the shape of what's it called?
the storytelling bits.
So in the process, we have a call, and then I have this sketch that I use, and then I get to see that so I think I like where this is going. Once I see the sketches and you explain it to them, break it down to the understanding that so this is how we are, and this is where we are starting from, and this is how we are going. They know that they don't have a problem with how when you start with the final work. Yeah, so I like to start with the sketches, and then sometimes before then you create a mood board, and then share some samples with them, or they will share some samples with you before you start from there. So it's like, so this is how they want their style to look like, this is how they want their patterns to look like, and then we take it from there.
Yeah.
So what I have to do is to be creative about it, use my style, use my ideas to do what they want, not what I want. So sometimes you have to give them what they want, not what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
This probably you would have to do a YouTube video or something on your creative process.
Yeah.
The reason is
really
I find it like amusing the fact that it's abstract, but then there's some story behind why you came about this. Because obviously,
if you go on my page, you find that almost all my designs are like it doesn't make sense. Like there's no meaning to that, but because I know what I'm doing and what I've done.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say.
You can tell like there's something else. Sometimes even Ed, my boyfriend, so he's someone that's come on for there. He's someone that I always like to share my ideas with. I always like to share most of my works with before I put it out there. And like, okay, yo, what do you think about this? Like, I need to throw this work. Can you take this thing off? Like, it doesn't look very catchy. Me like it. That's like, we are good to go. So there are times where I share with him because he's already there. He started design before I came in. So it's like, there are some things that I need to learn from and pick from. So one time, so with this one like this, over time I'm sharing like, before I post, I share with him. And I need to know what he thinks. Or how does he see? He's like, oh, what's the idea behind this? When I explained it, he's like, hey, wow, okay, I didn't see that come. Like, he didn't think that was what it meant. So it's like, I have to break it down for him. That he didn't see. That, okay, so this is the whole idea behind that pattern. That, oh, okay, now I get why.
Yeah, so that's what probably I want to see. Maybe, I don't know if you have plans on doing that, where maybe just do a video and
I do behind. I show my screen before I
sometimes I see the designs, but then
you want to get into it.
I think we have confusion.
Why you don't make it open my head?
No, like walk us through how you are. You know, something that's what we call the thought process, right?
Yeah.
Where
I think where the struggle is for us is because we are primarily product designers. Product design, whenever you are presenting a design, whenever you work on a design, right, you have to kind of align it to certain goals. On the business side, the user side, and everything. So, I mean, the question I have is, when you are presenting, is there like goals that whoever contracts you to work on the pattern, are there goals they have that you are trying to meet, or it's mainly their decision is mainly based on the aesthetics of the pattern? Yeah, I want to be educated because this is a field I have.
Is this a client's project or a fan project?
This is a personal one I did.
Okay, so you can answer his question. Then we'll come back to that one.
This one, the design was.
You don't worry, we'll come back to that.
I felt like a day to create that. Yeah, so with yours, me personally, I think I'm still learning, honestly. I'm not there because it's 2 years that I've been working on this pattern whole thing. So I have no idea, but with what I've done, I don't want to call it principle. Like the whole process that I do is that, like I mentioned, you come up with a mood board. Yeah, you set up a mood board, and then you have a call with them, and then let them share their samples, and you add yours to it, and then you merge it together.
Before the mood board, before you go, like the conversation you have with them, right? You were asking if they have like some goals, direction.
Yeah.
What do they? No, goals.
Like goals they want to meet with that person.
Because you definitely take some information from them before you go and come up with the mood board.
Right. So do they come like, okay, Sarpomah, we need you to work on a pattern for us we want for this uniform, right?
Exactly.
We want a pattern for it, but then probably this is the vibe we are going. How do they normally communicate their
that was
ideas?
So I think because like you know what you do and you're good at it, all they have to do is like give you their things that they are looking out for, and then they are good to go. But then along the line, they just want to know like how long it would take or how long it would get their designs done. So sometimes they come and they expect it to like less than a month because they feel like was their campaign or project or whatever they are doing is next month. So they'll come probably like 3 weeks before or 2 weeks before. Is it possible to get it in 2 weeks? Is it possible to get it in 3 weeks? And I'm always being honest that yes, it's because I know I don't sleep early and I use all my time like during the evening to work and then back and forth. I think that's how it works because they come up with the theme of what they want, and then that's how I explain to them that okay, so if this is what you guys are looking for, this is what you want, then this is how we are going to go about it, and then we start from there. So they come like okay, so we want we want maybe let's say they want let me say abstract patterns on but this time we want to use Edinkwa symbols. So can we use Edinkwa symbols in a form of motif pattern? So that one, I know motif patterns have more of like geometric shapes type of thing. So I have to be creative about it, incorporate the geometric shapes with the Edinkwa symbols, and then just change it up a bit. But you still see Edinkwa symbols inside the patterns. All you have to do just, do your thing, and you're good to go.
Interesting. So, for instance, if I come to you and I'm like, okay, Sarpomah, we need a pattern for Design Junkies merch. We want to do a merch and we need a pattern for it. We are already designers, we're in the tech space. We want it to be bold, catchy, like vibrant. And that's all that we say to you, that's okay. From then, how do you go about using what I just said and coming up with mood boards? Because like Sam said, normally some clients do come in with a clear goal where they know exactly what they want, so they can be very descriptive about it.
Majority of the time, I meet people like that, that's what they want. And some,
so they are very descriptive.
Exactly. So then they know what they want. So all you have to do is like give them that a part of you in their project or whatever they are about to start. So like I mentioned that if they want a degree symbol like on their patterns, it's like, okay, so I have to, don't just use a degree symbol, like add something, like be very,
creative about it.
So it's like, let it be very different to the point of like, okay, this is very new from the ones that I've seen. And it's like adding the colors to it too also matters. I don't like using like very hot, like vibrant colors. A mixture of like vibrant and what's it called, cool colors. So when you mix them up, you get that like and most of them they are grown-ups. So that when they see it on let's say on their phones, like they're able to see that okay, it doesn't disturb their eyes, so they can actually see like on a clear view. So that one also matters. And then comes to colors. Colors actually matters a lot. All of this, if you add way they teach me, so Charlie, that.
Yeah, you go.
I like what you mentioned about the fact that you think about what you just mentioned. Some of them are grown-ups. If they see it on their phone, you don't want it to be too strong on your eyes and all that. Yeah. Right. Are there? The question just left my head. Oh shit. So, do you think of like the various places these patterns are
being used?
Yeah, applied. Or you see, for example, again, we are product designers, so that's the example I'm going to use, right? So if you are building products, web apps, so let's say like a design a website, right? You design for desktop, mobile, tablets, right? So for patterns, are there like, you think about the different applications of that pattern? Like for example, if it's on a shirt, if it's on a fabric, like a plain fabric, if it's on a pillow like this. Yeah, like do you think about these different touch points?
I do a lot of time. I think I mentioned to Jeffrey, there was an event we had last week, so I was explaining to him that I'm looking at creating a website where I would have a lot of like different products or items on the websites where people can purchase. And this time around, I'm starting from the minor ones, not the major ones like fabrics, but let's say mugs, t-shirts, wallpapers, tote bags. I've got a lot of people, even a hoodie like this. And the recent one I did, the socks. Like, bro.
The happy socks.
The socks was like, that design, I won't lie to you, like, after I finished the whole patterns, I'm like, this looks like a face, like a smiley face. It was just rectangles that I used. I think you saw the process, right?
I don't remember
I shared the process, and I'm like, so when I joined everything together, I had to go back, zoom out. I'm like, I can see something inside this. But people would think that that's the actual shape that I used and then duplicated it. But no, when I started with the bag, it was just a rectangle shape that I joined I flipped it down and then I duplicated it again. It was like, okay, I was just like smiling the whole time, like damn, like so when I see that like I'm doing something that amazes me, I'm like I get too excited. So when I continue like that, I'm like if this sucks, I'm able to print it out. But then the thing is how to get where to get the quality fabrics and to print on is one thing that's like I'm actually looking at right now. So I've reached out to a lot of people where I can get these fabrics or items, but then majority of them are saying they have to ship them from outside. But then you have to go to people that print on good quality. Right? So it's like you need like marks, different types of marks. That's what I'm looking at right now. And then different types of tote bags, different types of cardboards that I can print on. And then cap as well. And then a t-shirt. The t-shirts ones will depend on the kind of things I'm printing on, like just like the full whole, probably a front or a back. And then, so those are the things that, even the throw pillows, these ones, I bet you can get some here. Because if I'm able to get this here, I should have my design at the back here somewhere. And then, so it's like, to be able to get this material that I can print on, it's like you need to get that material in a different place, country, and also print it over there before it ships down.
Interesting. So I wanted to know if, with your clients, right?
Yeah.
Do you handle that bits where you are looking, making sure they have like the quality in terms of, okay, they want it on maybe pillows? Do you do that search for them, or yours is to deliver the pattern to them and they figuring the rest out?
So I mentioned earlier that the patterns have different packages. So I have basic, moderate, and then premium. So basic, you don't have mock-ups. Moderate, to get mock-up. So let's say they want throw pillows. So I search for ones that look very, real. Like when you could see that, okay, so this is how it will actually look like on the throw pillow that you want. So I go for the quality ones with very, sharp detail. Like you can see clearly that this is what I'm looking at. I don't just download like regular mock-ups. Like I need to get ones that get to attention. Like this is what I want.
Yeah. So after me, my concern is not even with the mock-ups.
The mock-ups.
It's the after your design, like the actual product.
Yeah.
So do you handle that process, or you leave that to the client?
Yeah, we leave that to the client.
Oh, okay.
So once they get that pattern, because I mentioned it's continuous. So you just have to make sure that the size of the article that you're working on, you should know that once you are printing, they should be able to get the first line coming from the last part. Is like it goes like that, continuous. So if I'm printing, this side should be able to end up. So it's like it's continuous like that. It flows continually.
Okay. So I mean, are you thinking of probably, I don't know, this is just something that popped in my head where I'm like, what if you handle the full creative process where you also look at, so if I want it on a pillow and you do the mock-up, you can also handle the part of you printing it for...
That one be stressful.
Well, be more money.
So again, product design.
Get what she wants
to start that.
Take it from there. I actually thought about it, but I'm like, yo, I'm fat.
Is it the stress involved in printing,
even what I'm
them
trying to do right now, I think I've got a lot of people saying that there's a lot of work that has come, because for me to get the materials, like the fabrics, like the items down, and then move to the print shops to make sure that like they are printing on the right item.
The clients more.
Oh yeah, of course they are. But the fact that I need to like move around and then making sure that like these things are well printed, and like that if you are printing in a Mac or a phone case, and then let's say I'm making sure that all the prints that they are doing is like well centered, like it's very detailed, like it's better than what they saw on the screen. And I'm like, okay, so it's like there's a lot of mistakes, and I have to go back there, and then okay, so this time around, it's like it has shifted, I have to come back again. It's like the colors is different from the one that I share with the print guy, it's a whole lot of stress like back and forth. It's like you need to get someone to probably do that for you.
If you share with the client in the store that feels that problem, doesn't it come back to you in terms of print? Or you send everything to them for that?
So I actually save in what's it called? PNG files when I'm sharing with them. Yeah. But I normally but in PDF is for, let's say, flyers and all of that. But I'm with that one, so I still save as PNG files if I'm sharing with them. So that I think when I save it in JPEG, it's not very sharp and good. So when I save in PNG, no matter how much you zoom in,
you still have the quality.
It's still very sharp. So but then the color theme, I always go with RGB.
Yeah, I was going to touch on that.
I read RGB a lot.
I know when you're printing, you use a
like
different color scheme.
So like, when I'm doing that, I tell them that before they move on, they should go with the color, the schemes that is much better. So that if you go off it, you might get a different shade of color from the
so
RGB.
You tell the ones printing that's this.
It's RGB.
Oh, okay.
So now they know that when they are printed, they get the exact same color from it.
Interesting.
Because cloudy like this, all the designs that you find is the exact same thing that you get from the design that we share with them. They don't even come back and ask you that, should we print in CMK or we should print in RGB?
Because they already know how to.
So it's like they know, and then they know what's it called?
How to work with it.
Well,
how to work with the designs you provide.
Yeah. So and then that was the first time that they are actually very calm with their whole presentation. It's like they don't stress you. They come and ask me that, what's up with my work? How far? And it's like they give you that whole 1 month to work on, and I use 2 weeks to do everything.
So would you say it's a matter of expertise comparing?
So the first time, I think I was delaying. I wasn't meeting deadlines. It was very hectic because to the point where I have to create 50 different designs, come up with different colors. So when I'm stuck, I have to go to Pinterest and look for ideas. I have to go to different websites to get inspiration. There are times where I'm like, it gets to like, you're exhausted and frustrated because like you can't do it again. But then this is a work that they're paying you well. Like you still have to give them a try, but it's very hard, child. But yeah, it was all good.
Yeah.
I was asking a question. So would you say it's a matter of expertise? Because you're saying Claudia. You mentioned Claudia is a Japan company. They have is it a branch or something in Ghana? Right. So but because you mentioned whenever in certain instances you have issues where things are not right, the color is not the exact same value.
Yeah, so they have someone that is in charge of, should I say creative lead, that is in charge of that. So I haven't met that person like one-on-one, but then the people here, I think different people with I think what they do, but the whole design aspect team are not here. They are in Japan. But we the designers, we meet, I think, one of the people that are standing or representing them from up there. So, but me personally, I haven't met them one-on-one. So when there's a mistake, they send a feedback that, we don't like this design, or we don't like this, what's it called, the colors. Can we change it a bit? So like there's a way of how that they communicate with you. It's not, I don't know how to put it. It doesn't make you feel upset or like uncomfortable. You
because
get that?
They are already in that space. Maybe probably they know how to like communicate with you on that level. But in cases where probably, like you said, you get side gigs, right? So if another company contacts you, you work on the pattern for them, they go and print it themselves because you said you don't handle that. When they print it, do you
They don't sell the items here. They sell it in Japan.
No, I'm not talking about.
Okay.
I'm talking about the side gigs that you get.
Oh yeah.
When they print it, right? Do you go over the final print, or when you deliver?
So I think there was a podcast show that they needed a t-shirt design. I use a different symbols too, but I had to, like I said, use your own creative ideas to do create your own thing. Yeah, but after like the printouts and everything, I didn't get any call that there was a mistake somewhere that we didn't need to what's it called, adjust some things, or can we work on the colors, can we work on the design or something, but
Okay.
it has always been like that.
Okay, we are wrapping up. Just 2 questions in one.
Okay.
When it comes to the creative part, how do you feed? Because you mentioned something about always going to Pinterest, and from the conversation, it seems like your base foundation for most is education point, and you just tweak from there. Correct me if I'm wrong. You are like you take the education both for whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what you're mostly doing. I mean, not always, definitely.
That was where I started from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to creativity, how is it like for you? How do you make sure? How do you get inspired for a particular project?
So I think because I'm always should I say I spend a lot of time on Pinterest. I spend a lot of my time like should I say with plants. So plants too, I get a lot of ideas from plants. It's weird, but I know. And I read a lot, and there are times where I journal too. Sometimes when I'm journaling, out of nowhere I'm sketching.
Okay.
And so when you take my book and you find you see a lot of sketches in my journal. Like I'm writing how I'm feeling and what's going on through my day and my life. But around the mansion area, you see random sketches. And there are ones that I have not even touched a long time ago. Because I have to go back and then recheck all of that. And so I think I'm always, what's it called? I think it depends on my mood, what I see around me. Because I mentioned earlier that I always get my ideas from the things I see.
The things around you.
Yeah, so it could be your socks. And how you're moving
Please
your
leave
feet.
my socks out of this.
Yeah. So how I get my whole ideas, and it all depends on like the things I see around me.
The things that you see and then your mood.
Yeah, my mood. So it's like objects, places that I go to. One time I went to, what's it called? There's this place around East Legon. I forgot her name. It's around American House. Oh.
Come.
Is it a restaurant or?
Is it a restaurant? It's oh dear God. Let me see for yes, it's around ANC Mall.
Okay,
Yeah,
Good Baker.
Sorry?
Good Baker.
No, it's this place. Is it Burger King?
Barebone Cafe.
Barebone Cafe.
Yeah, so they have this plants around their area.
Interesting.
Yeah. Sorry? Yeah, so they have this plant. People, you don't want to observe things around. They have this plant. They have this plant. So it was one of my nephew's birthday. We just went there to eat. Yeah, so I got him. So I went back to take a picture. And my business was like, what are you doing for us? I was like, oh, I was just looking for something. So yeah, I took some pictures. So it's like, you start at that thing for a long time to get something out of it. But how this plant is, like, how many times I look at it,
you get something from it.
I'll get something out of it.
This brings me to the point where you become so good at it that it's so easy for you to because for you, because you are constantly working on patterns and you know how to get inspiration. Let's say from looking at this thing, you can easily get a pattern from this particular thing. Right? But then for someone that's not constantly in that space, getting a pattern out of nowhere becomes difficult. So I also feel it's a matter of expertise where, because you've done it over and over again, for you it comes easy to you. And for your inspo, it might sound weird to people because probably that's not your usual way of getting inspiration. Yeah, but then I believe if you are going into that space, which is the pattern space, definitely these are some of the things probably you need to look out for. Like, don't just take shape for what it is. Just try and see if you can get
I mentioned earlier that when I see something that's like, so that I change it a bit, and you really know that, like the socks patterns, it's rectangle that I use. But how would you know that I use a rectangle shape? You wouldn't know, right? So it's how you are good, how do you use the software, or like you know how to use the software, or how to be very what's it called? Is it creative?
Yeah, creative.
Like you're very, intelligent about like these tools. So that it's a blank white artboard, and before you know,
It's something beautiful.
exactly.
Like Ed.
So it's like.
I wanted to use that to, get into my next point. So you both leave me. Please. I mean, niching down is not, we are wrapping up, like, we are ending.
Sure.
Somebody wants to slap me behind the camera, but it's not something simple, like easy like that, right? For someone watching, just one advice before we talk about it. Okay, never mind, we'll not talk about it.
Okay.
Please, one advice. One advice for someone that wants to niche down, just like you did 2 years ago.
Me myself, I need advice. I think I'll say that you should find your style, know what you are really good at, because it's going to be tough that you would, how do you call it, be on that journey, but along the line, I'm sure you'll be able to figure out what you want, and also be yourself, like do you. And that's one thing that's really helped me, like focusing on myself, focusing on what I want, not what other people are telling me what to do. So I think at the end of the day, you know what you want, and then you're good to go. So, peace out.
Thank you.
Alright, guys. You good?
Awkward wrap up to this.
I forgot what I was going to say.
What the hell has done? Your agenda.
Please, we'll see you in the next one. Please subscribe, like, share. I'm doing the symbols for you. Share. Which one? Like, subscribe.
Is that subscribe?
No, this is like, I love it. Like. Please, we are done.